On the occasion of World Environment Day 2023, let us adore and explore nature. The interrelationship between plants, insects, birds and animals. So here we see the butterfly, and the bush is without flowers, and this bush is aromatic, and it is Pogostiman bengalans, locally in Dogri called as Kaliswali. So on its leaves, the butterfly is just taking rest. We can't say it is nectaring because the flowers are not there, but yet the association is joyful, and this is the interdependence among various creatures. No one particular taxa can thrive or exist in nature alone. It needs the association. And another beauty in natural world is circular kind of usage of materials. Whatever is left by one organism as a waste, that is temporary waste, ultimately it is being devoured by or being utilized by another creature. Maybe some kind of mushroom, maybe some kind of termites, or maybe some kinds of insects itself. Even this butterfly will be devoured by sometimes by, say, some bird. If bird finds this particular butterfly somewhere, so definitely it will have its own prey. So predator-prey relationship is also there, and butterflies are lepidopteran insects. Their wings have the scales, and this all coloration is not due to pigments. This is another beautiful feature of these butterflies. Basically, these scales have a kind of reflection, and because of the reflections of the light, it exhibits different kinds of colors on the wings. It has 4 wings, and the mostly we find the below we have another kind of coloration. So this yellow and orange color we are able to see only on the underneath. But if it opens its wings and we are able to see the upper side of the wings, they are not that gaudy color in this particular butterfly. So this is the unique interrelationship between the angiosperms, flowering plants, and the lepidopteran insects, especially this butterfly. So there has been a talk of Cretaceous coevolution. Coevolution means when the flowering plants, they diversified. At that time, even insects diversified. And when there was evolution of the flowering plants going on, and many different architectural floral types were being evolved, accordingly some moths, they got adapted to the you can say the nocturnal kind of pollination, and the flowers which bloom during evening hours or during night time, only such fragrant night blooming flowers were favored by the moths, whereas butterflies, they focused on the plants which have the flowers during daytime. So diurnal flowering plants, and moreover the plants which have long tube, because only butterflies have the long coiled proboscis. The moment it sips some nectar hidden inside the tube, floral tube, so it recoils, it actually expands that particular coiled proboscis to feed on the hidden nectar inside. So all insects will not be able to sip that kind of nectar. So there is talk of coevolution. So on the World Environment Day 2023, the theme is beat plastic pollution. Yes, plastic, non-biodegradable waste, and so many consumable items, they stands packaged in the harmful plastics. And even furniture is coming in by way of plastics. We have thermocols, the styrofoams, polyesters, polythenes, and based on many hydrocarbons, even the petroleum is used. So there is a talk of recycling, but so far globally we have not been able to achieve more than 10% of recycling of the harmful waste. And there is a talk about 300 to 400 million tons of garbage, plastic waste, which is getting littered in the fragile habitats, and thereby degrading the soils, compromising the quality of soils, and we are not able to get the pure food. Our food is contaminated by way of leachates of this plastic garbage, which we dump in the nearby water bodies also. Even across near river Tavi, sometimes we find the heaps of this plastic garbage, and we are failing in recycling. So what is the answer? Answer is reduce the consumption. This is one. And second, try to have eco-friendly materials for the single-use plastic items, maybe spoons, maybe cups, maybe plates, or another beautiful traditional lifestyle was to use even the leaves. For example, this is another association. Here we see on the banyan leaf we have another dipteran insects, which is a kind of honeybee. It's not honeybee basically, it is a syrphidae insect, and this is resting on the banyan leaf. The banyan is the our national tree of India, and this has the peculiar you can say the prop roots, rope like prop roots, which hang down, and they provide support. So one of the huge canopy banyan tree is seen in the Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose Botanical Garden, Howrah. So their East India Company, the father of Indian botany basically, Dr. William Roxburgh, while working in the Calcutta, Bengal, he named the Indian plants, and this plant, since he saw only in Bengal, and the Bania people, they were having the stalls and grocery shops and some items they were selling while sitting under this banyan tree in Bengal, Calcutta. So he got its name as banyan tree, or also sometimes it is named as banyan tree. This is Ficus bengalensis. As we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, so this particular tree which is before us, this is our national tree, but it has also witnessed the tragedies with our freedom fighters and revolutionaries. Many of the revolutionaries, they were hanged from this sacred Wat Vriksh at various locations, say Bareilly, more than 240 revolutionaries were hanged, then even Kanpur, and then Gorakhpur, and we have so many examples where this banyan tree is a witness to the hangings of various revolutionaries at the hands of the Britishers. And the first particular that Battle of Plassey changed the fate of India. Otherwise, the history of India would have been different if Siraju Dowla would not have lost that war with Lord Clive's forces. But Mir Qasim and Mir Jafar took side with the Britishers, and we lost that Battle of Plassey, which was fought in this month, June, way back in 1757. And after 100 years, we had the first War of Independence, popularly known as Azadi Ka Sangram, in 1857, where we have the revolutionary poetries, especially by Subhadra Kumari Chauhan, where she mentions about the valor of Jhansi ki Rani, Khoob ladi mardani, wo to Jhansi wali Rani thi, like that. So that also inspired our forefathers, freedom fighters, to take cudgels with the Britishers, and ultimately we have got this independence. So many sacrifices, much bloodshed, and that bloodshed or that torture of our revolutionaries, that stand witnessed by this particular tree, which is in Dogari called as Bod, and in Sanskrit named as Vat. And in some locations after Vat, the modified name is Bad also, but in Jammu region we call Bad the another fig, which is Ficus religiosa, which is the people. or Gajanan, because the leaves in case of Ficus religiosa, they are like Ganesha, Lord Ganesha. So that particular fig is known as sacred fig tree, whereas this is named after Baniya community as the Banyan fig tree, but this is equally sacred. Now we are able to listen to many birds because this is the natural setting where we have the trees, we have the bushes, and then koyal. The koyal, mostly we say the koyal gati hai, but basically it is the male Eudynamis calopecia bird which sings melodies, whereas the female of Eudynamis calopecia is not able to sing that sweet melodies, and it is mostly doing only kur kur kur. So these are the calls of Kali Koyal or Eudynamis calopecia. Sometimes it is also confused with cuckoo, but Indian cuckoo is Cuculus canorus, which says coo, coo, cuckoo, cuckoo. And another cuckoo which has already entered in the environment of our surroundings of Jammu city, that is Kala Papiya, are popularly named as pied cuckoo, because it has white under surface and black upper surface, and the head is crested, so it is called as crested pied cuckoo or Dogri Kala Papiya, which is the harbinger of monsoon. The moment we see its sightings, because this is a migratory bird and comes from Africa, coinciding with the southwest monsoon currents, air currents. So this is the month of June, and almost the time is approaching when we will have the monsoon rains. So this bird has been associated as the harbinger of rainy season. So that is the beauty of nature. If we focus on various aspects of nature, then we have butterfly diversity also. We have, for example, this particular tiny gross blue butterfly on oxalis. It is there, and it is also taking or sipping nectar. And where we have another beautiful small bush, the flower are very few only in this time. This is the plant which is sometimes named as the cigar plant. This particular is a honey yielding plant, although this is native to Mexico, and popularly it is in botany named as Cuphea melvillea and Cuphea miniata. We have another species of a blue flowering, that is Cuphea hysopifolia. So all Cuphea bushes are introduced, or they are cultivated in the gardens as ornamental plants. So we also have some very fascinating plants which are called firecracker plant. Firecracker plant, whenever we have the New Year celebrations or the Diwali celebrations or Eid celebrations or some another occasion, festive occasion, maybe marriage time, and then we go for firecrackers. They are polluting the environment, so we should say no to the polluting firecrackers. But this particular plant, which have some kind of brilliance of the flowers on the spikes, so it has also been named popularly as the firecracker plant, in botany identified as Crossandra infundibulifolius. Another beautiful foliage we are able to see. Flower is not that beautiful, but you see the leaves are dotted. So beautifully dotted. It is a ornamental plant, again exotic to India, but stands introduced in parks and gardens. So this is called as freckle face or polka dot plant. Hypastis phylostachya is its botanical identity. Likewise, we have another plant which is named after a shrimp, a kind of crustacean aquatic animal. In Tavi River, we used to have good diversity of prawns, especially freshwater prawns of the genus Macrobrachium. Under the genus Macrobrachium, we used to have Macrobrachium dianum, Macrobrachium lemerii, and many other, popularly local people call as tinga but basically the bird, Hindi bird, is jhinga machli. So this particular bush also having the floral spike, just giving a kind of orientation as if it is also prawn. Although it is not shrimp, it is a flowering plant belonging to Adusa family Ecanthaceae, but this is because of the peculiar curve of the floral spike, it has been named as shrimp plant. And earlier it was named as Bilopiron guttata, but there is a lot of taxonomic changes. So new name is some other accepted binomial, and Bilopiron guttata is considered as synonym. We also have the Tood Bana in the Jammu Shivaliks, and higher reaches we have another Tood Bana type of plant, which are peculiar in having the green upper surface and they have the white under surface. Likewise, this bush is also having that woolly under surface, and even stems are white woolly. But this is exotic to India, basically native to African and Madagascar. So this particular species has been named as Madagascar butterfly bush because this flowers attract butterflies. So basically this is Budalija, species named after Madagascar, Budalija madagascariensis. It has orange pink flower blooms, but this is not the season of flowers. If we talk about indigenous plants, then this particular bush, which is again our own plant, Indian plant called as Tood Bana, this is Budalija asiatica or Asiatic butterfly bush. It has white flowers and its leaves are also narrower, but similar feature as we found in case of Budalija madagascariensis. Under surface is white, and this particular bush flowers in spring, and then it attracts different kinds of butterflies. So if we want to establish a butterfly garden, we need to include the plants which are called butterfly bushes. Maybe we introduce Budalija crispa, which grows in hills and mountains, and Budalija asiatica, which is Tood Bana, which grows in lower Shivaliks, and the Budalija madagascariensis, which is basically exotic to India. But another plant which attracts butterflies, not only butterflies but even insects. Here we see the butterfly is also in love with the flowers of this particular plant, which is a reputed Ayurveda plant mentioned by Sushrut and Charak as highly hepatoprotective, anti-inflammatory, and this particular bush is locally known as Bana, but in Sanskrit is called as Nirgundi, and Hindi name is Samhalu. And this particular plant has 5 leaflets. Here we are able to count the 5 leaflets, and this is a compound leaf basically having the 5 leaflets, and 2 leaflets they grow in opposite decussate manner. So phyllotaxy is to be seen when we try to identify the species, because there are many other species which have only trifoliate leaf, but here we find pentafoliate leaf, and these leaves are not green beneath, rather they have the grayish white appearance. So the flowers are blue and they attract many whites and yellows kind of butterflies which are placed in the family Pyridae. So this particular bush is not only you can say medicinal, hepatoprotected. Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine, earlier called as Regional Research Laboratory, has innovated Live 1 from the extract of this particular medicinal shrub, and this grows also as a live hedge along the farmland boundaries of the farmers. So if we include our bushes, whether they are ornamental or they are medicinal or they are attracting the butterflies or they have some kind of reverence, as we found in case of Ficus religiosa, people, or Ficus bengalensis, what are the reputed medicine plant like Ashwagandha and Sarvagandha. So here we find the Ashwagandha. Ashwa means horse. So its roots have the smell of the horse urine or something like that. The earlier Ayurvedic experts, they found that smell in the roots, so it was aptly named as Ashwagandha, one which smells like horse. So this is reputed medicinal plant and equated as Indian ginseng. Otherwise, the ginseng is from another genus, and that is from another family, Araliaceae, as Panax ginseng. In northeastern India, we had the Panax pseudoginseng, but this is not Panax, but this is from tomato and potato family Solanaceae plant, Wythenia somnifera, where the red fruits are enclosed inside the papery calyx. Calyx is green, but on maturity it becomes papery. So inside this we have the dark red berries with black fruits, black seeds. So this reputed medicinal plant finds inclusion in many Ayurvedic formulations. And if we just focus on a few more plants which we see around, then one particular plant is ivy gourd. This particular white flower, locally called as kanduri. It is also named as Coccinea grandis. Coccinea is red because its fruit on maturity is quite deep red or scarlet red. Because of that, the genus name is Coccinea grandis. But immature, not fully ripe fruits, they are cooked as a vegetable throughout India. So when we talk about Ashwagandha, after that we have the similar plant which is reputed medicinal plant. It is called Sarpagandha. And why it has been named as Sarpagandha? Because its roots have a serpentine kind of structure. If we dig out its root, then we will be able to see the root is just like the serpent. So it was aptly named by our forefathers as Sarpagandha. So it is from the Caneer family, Oleander family, Apocynaceae family plant, and this is again under in the threat category, but this was the source of reserpine drug. Rather, Ajmal Khan, the former director general of the CSR in Pakistan, he when he was working in India before partition, so he worked on this particular plant. So one particular alkaloid named in Ajmal's honor as Ajmalacine. So in addition to reserpine, we also have a Ajmalacine alkaloid, a very useful alkaloid obtained from the this plant. And this plant also attracts some butterflies, the way I was referring to. Here we have the dried spikes. Dried spikes are one of the endemic, or you can say the threatened beautiful Himalayan plant, which is popularly named as Himalayan golden spike. It has the golden flowers, but since the season of flowers is over, we don't find. And here underneath we have the swollen roots which look like gajar or muli, so it has been named as gajar mula. Arimostachys superba was the earlier name, but now name stand changed to Phlomides superba. Superb. And Phlomis like. Phlomis is another genus, and the Phlomis cashmeriana is the beautiful plant which we find in Jawahar Tunnel area. So these biodiversity, again sometimes we do come across the for example, this particular is the milk thali, you can say. This is a plastic, and this will never degrade in the environment. Even if we throw it in the soil, it will be there even after centuries. If we throw into water bodies, then they will pollute the water body, they may shred into smaller pieces, and ultimately they may find entry into the oceans, and in oceans, because of many other more and more breaking of its species, ultimately microplastics. And microplastics have been found by the scientists to be even in the rainfall water, and ultimately they are contaminating our drinking water sources. And microplastics have also been discovered inside our body, in the blood system. So this particular theme, beat plastic pollution, was also the theme of 2018, and in 2023 it is again being repeated. Let us join hands to preserve and conserve nature and phase out harmful, environment degrading, non-biodegradable plastics